What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I don't know what it is, but it's phenomenal.
All right, people, we're going to try something a little different today.
I cannot solve your problem, sir. Only you can.
Am I missing something?
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
The reality is, humans are humans are humans, and that's never going to end.
No, I do mind. The dude minds. This will not stand.
It's a big, big deal.
Hello. You speak English, sir? Parlo usted inglés?
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
I've done the math on this. We've talked about it on this show before. That's a fact.
You'll learn a little something about yourself.
That's us, dude!
That's why we're radio show hosts.
That's right.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad.
Let's do this.
Discussing issues that matter to you. Finding real answers using logic and reason. KLZ 560 presents Rush to Reason. Now, here's your host, John Rush.
All right, Rush to Reason, Denver's Afternoon Rush, KLZ 560. Our affordable interest mortgage phone call will be coming up in just 1 second. Before that, though, I'm going to change things up a little bit because Kevin Flesh will come up right after Kurt Rogers. So while we're waiting for Kurt, I want to talk about Kevin for just one moment. So here's where Kevin can come in handy. So this morning, my son, which you guys all know, Richard, he leaves my house because we had to come over and switch some cars around or whatever. Anyways, so he leaves the house and he's heading down the street out in front of my house, which I don't want to get in a lot of details and tell everybody where I live. But right in front of my street, it's 4-lane divided median, then goes into just a little short stint where it's 2-lane, and then it opens back up again into a 4-lane with a, not necessarily a median, but a big double yellow stripe that you're not allowed to turn into to separate the 2 4 lanes. So there was a school bus stopped on the other side of the street in the turn lane. So it's basically 1, 2, 3, like 3, rows, whatever you want to call it, lanes, 3 lanes over, and it stopped and flipped on its, little yellows and then the reds. Well, my son, thinking that that's a divided highway, the school bus is on the other side, rolls on through. Cop's there, pulls him over, $300 ticket.
Wow.
Now, frankly, I think that's really ticky-tack because, frankly, I'm not sure by the letter of the law because I still think that's considered a divided highway right there. And typically in a divided highway, you're not supposed to have to stop with the school bus on the other side because they're not supposed to cross. Kids aren't supposed to cross in that type of a scenario anyway. So they're not supposed to be in the street there anyway, so the risk of running into one is nil because they're not supposed to be walking there anyways.
Okay, if you're going northbound on I-25 and an ambulance is coming southbound,
you don't have to pull over.
And I've seen people pull
even on
over.
a divided highway when there's another lane down the middle, and like say it's a same thing. Okay, I was going down 6th Avenue today. It's 2 lanes on one side, 2 lanes on the other, and a big median in the middle. And an ambulance is coming the other direction. Everybody's pulling over. I'm thinking, idiots, don't. Stop. Keep driving. It's a divided highway at that point. You do not have to pull over for that emergency vehicle. Now, if the guy's trying to turn left in front of you and there's an accident, of course. But there's no place for that ambulance to go other than straight past you.
Right.
So just keep driving. So in this case, point being, I told Richard, call Kevin Flesh. Because I think you got a pretty good case here for Kevin to actually take this, run with it. And so Richard calls Kevin, and Kevin's like, yep, let's get some pictures, find out exactly where it was at, blah, blah, blah. But I think, yeah, you have a very good case. So we'll talk about Kevin in just 1 minute, but that's how you can use somebody like Kevin Flesh. So let's get to Kurt Rogers next, Affordable Interest Mortgage, our Monday Mortgage Minute. Kurt, welcome. What's going on, sir?
How are you?
We are doing very well. So I got 2 young individuals in the studio today that I'm guessing at some point in time will probably want to buy a home. What should they be doing to prepare for that, even though they're neither one married?
They probably need to look at how the mortgage payment would fit into their budget, meaning what's their ratio. They might say, I want to buy a $350,000 house. What would that payment be? Is that what I want to have?
Okay.
Maybe kind of get pre-qualified, not pre-approved, get a basic idea of how much per month they're thinking. What will that buy them?
Got it. Now, when it comes to establishing credit, things along those lines, what do they need to do just starting out?
They need to have basically three forms of credit. Can be credit cards, can be installment loans. The bank would prefer that they have them for at least 2 years. If it's a credit card, they're going to look at trying to keep the ratios at 40% of what the limit is. If it's a $5,000 limit, you want to keep it around $2,000.
Got it. Now, does it help them if they get that credit card and then pay it off immediately every month, or does that not help their credit?
You can do that, but for about, at the beginning, you want to carry maybe $100 on that credit card. Let's say we have a $5,000 limit. Put $100 on it and make payments on it for 6 to 10 months.
Got it.
Because you ain't going to pay a lot of interest. But what it shows is that you know you prove how to make payments on a loan.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are you two listening?
Yep.
Makes sense?
Yep,
Thank
makes
you.
sense.
Okay, any other advice for them, Kurt?
Don't be late on anything, which is pretty normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Changing jobs is not going to hurt them. You stay in the same field. If you decide to leave one job, go to the next. You can have a gap of employment, but you definitely don't want to make it go more than 30 days. Going from W-2 to self-employed is something I would strongly recommend against. You can go from self-employed to W-2, same line of work, that works, but going the other way is going to hurt you.
Got it. Yeah, so if they stay in the same field, they're pretty good with that, but don't be jumping around job to job to job, and especially changing careers all the time.
Right, and then determine, once you get pre-qualified, determine what you're comfortable with putting down. You can get loans with 2% down and no mortgage insurance. Your rate's going to be a little bit higher, not a lot. Or you can get a loan with 3.5% down or one with 10% down and see how it all fits.
Okay, great. All right, Kurt, how does anybody else that's out there that may be young, they're looking, they're trying to decide what to do, and my advice always is to call you, even if they may not be buying for a year or two down the road, get with you now and get everything established so when that time comes, you just pull the trigger.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, how do they get a hold of you?
Because, I can give them advice now. I can look at what they got and say, okay, if you do this and this, you can move your credit score 50 points in about 6 months, which will give you this.
Got it. All right, Kurt Rogers, 720-895-0500. Kurt, I appreciate it, and I know they do as well.
Mm-hmm.